Robin Simcox joins us, counterterrorism analyst at the Heritage Foundation. Robin, it is beyond comprehension that in this day and age, a nation like Russia could just level a city, killing countless civilians with no consequences. Right now, tonight, at this moment, the UN estimates that 275,000 people are trapped in Aleppo. They say the city is a killing zone. Specifically, what can we do when we see these type of photos of these babies and the children who have been killed, and the deaths continue while they just talk at the UN?
Well, doesn't this perfectly demonstrate the utter brutality of Bashar al-Assad, his Syrian regime, and the utter amorality and the barbaric nature of the Russian support for the Assad regime? We're seeing killing take place on a mass scale here, civilians targeted, hospitals, marketplaces, aid convoys. And to be honest, I think we've also seen the impotence of the international community, the West's response to this. You know, these kind of events, when they take place, I think of killing that's taken place in the past in places like Bosnia, for example, which we look back on now and think we should have done more. In Sudan, this is one of those moments where we're going to look back on this in years to come and think this was the time we should have stopped the killing. Yet at the moment, there appears to be very little done. The US talking about cutting off diplomatic relations with Russia, that's the best we can do. That really worries me.
I mean, what else do you think we can do? I mean, look, the Security Council is really useless in this situation because Russia has the veto, of course. And there's talk of Russian war crimes, that they've been using buster bunking bombs. Those bombs are only supposed to be used in military installations, not against an apartment building, because right now families, it's dark, it's nighttime overnight there, they are cowering and huddled, as it has been reported, in one room with no electricity, a family together waiting to die as these warplanes continue to fly over them.
Well, yes, and I think the Secretary of State, John Kerry, points out that the fact of the matter is the United States cares about international law. I don't think Russia really does. But I'm not going to pretend there's a lot of easy, simple options available for Syria. 5 years of pretty much inaction on foreign policy, as the Obama administration has shown, I think is a natural consequence of that. But General Petraeus, former head of the CIA, the man who oversaw the surge in Iraq, has talked about no-fly zones, safe zones for civilians. There's a possibility maybe of grounding Assad's air force, providing more rebels to the more weapons to the rebels we're working with. I'm not pretending these are all cost-free or simple, but I think there's more that can be done than just endless rounds of useless negotiation.
But isn't that too late? I mean, if you try to ground Assad's air force, we should have gone after his helicopters, say some critics, a long time ago. We should have bombed the runways to stop the barrel bombing a long time ago. If you do it now, you got Russia. Russia's going to take action then against NATO or against us, and certainly can't impose a no-fly zone, can you? With Russian warplanes buzzing about?
Well, these are the problems we now face. I mean, if you look at the chemical weapons issue, 2013, the Obama red line, when Assad crossed that was meant to be the key moment where we took a stand and stopped this killing.
And Secretary Kerry is critical in that leaked tape recording at the UN, saying he argued for taking action, but they were empty threats because it wasn't backed up by the Obama administration with any military force.
Absolutely, and very clearly, President Obama did not want to get involved in Syria, whether it was for ideological or practical reasons, or whether he didn't think he could sustain the support in the country. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, non-intervention is as much of a policy as intervention, and we see the results of non-intervention in Syria. The scale of the killing is just unbelievable now.
It is 500,000 people so far, and finally, quickly, Vladimir Putin. Let me talk about him. We've seen this before. He's taken a page right out of Chechnya when he just massacred the civilians, according to reports. The Guardian had a fantastic investigation about that, calling them terrorists. Should he or Russian officials be tried or put up at the International Criminal Court for potential war crimes?
Well, the role of Russia in it, I mean, this war is going on for some years, so it'll probably be a different administration that even looks into those issues. But Russia has form on this, as you mentioned, Chechnya. And what happened with Chechnya? Chechnya created a whole new generation of terrorists who saw the Muslim suffering in that war and used it to inspire new generations of jihadists and terrorists. This isn't a short-term problem in Aleppo. We're going to be living with the consequences for years and years to come.
Robin Simcox, thank you for your analysis tonight. I think we all should be thinking about the poor people who are suffering under those Russian and Syrian bombs that continues, and the world seems helpless. Helpless. to do anything about it. Robin, thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
So,
Thank you.
so horrible.